Hello, welcome to the latest edition of Last World Boxing, joined by regular Sean. How you going, Sean?
Yeah, all good, mate. Yourself?
All good, fella, thank you. So,
Good.
on the topic we're covering today is Dazn still good value for money? Obviously, they've come out and let us know there's going to be some price increases. However, to be fair, Warrens and Queensbury are now joined Dazn, so a lot more content. So, you've got to balance it somewhere. So, Sean, give us your thoughts regarding Dazn, direction of travel, and is it still good value for money for his fight fans?
Yeah, I personally think it's still good value. You got to think as well, these days it's not just purely a boxing platform, what it was when it originally arrived. I think they've got, is it the World Cup football tournament coming up, the Club World Cup or something? So they're always
You'd
increasing.
have to worry about that being a Brighton fan. Don't worry about tournaments like that.
No. Well, I just hope that we can beat Forest today and get revenge.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, so all the time they're increasing their sports. So I don't think you can complain with the price. I mean, it's still relatively cheap for a subscription, I think, and I think it provides value for money. As you mentioned, Frank's coming on board next month. They've got something like 52 shows a year for boxing. That's just on their standard Dazn subscription. So I don't think as boxing, if you're subscribed to it purely for that, you can grumble at all, really.
Do you still think Dazn's good for boxing, Sean? It's changing the landscape a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is really. I mean, just look at GBM. It gives the smaller guys a platform as well. You can argue if they make the most of it or if Dazn make the most of it for them. But I think for boxing overall, it's been good and it gives people platforms that not necessarily would have them previously.
So obviously you got versus Warren now, 5 versus 5, worst kept secret in British boxing. I think that will become an annual thing, don't you? Now they're both on Dazn, which is good.
Yeah, I agree. I think it will. I guess the only thing will muddy it, and I can't see it happening too much, is if they often sort of put their fighters against each other ordinarily. I think with the 5v5, you want to sort of keep it separate and make an event of it once a year, as you say, rather than having, I don't know, a couple of their fighters fight each other every month or so because they're on the same platform now.
And obviously, American fight fans have benefited from Turkey getting involved in subscription prices because they've seen their subscription price drop through the roof, right?
Yeah. That's probably one thing that you have to praise him for. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea these days, but one thing he seemingly wants to do is make boxing accessible for more people, whether that be pay-per-view prices or give smaller fighters a chance on these shows. So I think you have to sort of give him full credit for that.
And last one, where do you see this boxing league landing? The one proposed by Dana White and Turkey. Do you think Dazn are definitely going to be throwing their hat in for that content, right?
Yeah, I think like everything with boxing, it's going to come down to who puts their hand in the pocket the deepest. I think Netflix are being banded around, aren't they? So they've definitely got competition for it. But I think I'm right in saying Turkey's got shares in Netflix or in Dazn, sorry, or he's linked in with Dazn sort of financially. So I think if he has it his way, I think it will land on Dazn.
I think Netflix are obviously going to be Dazn's big competitor over the next 12 months. Very similar subscription for model. You know, very deep pockets. Already linked in with Jake Paul, aren't they? MVP. Quite interesting times for Dazn because they could be a real competitor to Dazn, couldn't they?
Yeah, the other thing with that is as well, given they're backed by TKO, I think TKO are in with WWE and WWE's on Netflix as well. So they've got the partnership there already. So yeah, I think it's going to very much be watch this space on that one.
Yeah, one thing I'm very interested in is the production of the shows because WWE, as much as I don't like the in-ring action, the production's absolutely brilliant.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It'll be very interesting. I don't like the angle where they talk about doing a WWE fight, a boxing fight, and an MMA fight all on the same night. Don't like that.
No.
But I do wonder the more and more that they jump in with TKO 'Cause obviously, Eddie owns a lot of the production side of things for Dazn, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does make me wonder: is that going to be needed? Because I think Tico maybe is a notch up from Matchroom in terms of production quality, only because we've been doing it longer. But I do think the WWE production can add a lot to boxing, right?
Yeah, it can absolutely, and I think that's almost where Eddie Hearn's getting his back up a bit, really, where he's becoming less and less involved in these Riyadh cards. It seems, well, with his boxers certainly. I know the sort of logistics he's still involved, but potentially that's a way how he gets sort of pushed and phased out from it all going forwards.
And also, it's quite interesting in some interviews where Eddie's starting talking about floating the company.
Yes.
I know they've taken some investment a couple of years ago, but it's almost like he's starting to make his exit strategy.
Yeah, and he's made a couple of comments in the last month or so, at least in interviews I've seen, where he sort of hinted at retirement and how long he wants left to do it. So I think really with him saying AJ's got maybe a year left, I think potentially we could see them sort of ride out together.
Yeah, he's a clever guy, into you. He's going to know when to go, when's the right time to go, right? Because obviously, he would have saw his old man get chewed up a little bit by the sport, right? And he ain't going to want to go that way, is he?
No, I mean, and he's still obviously got the darts or the snooker or whatever it may be he can focus on, which pulls in eye-watering numbers. So, yeah, I don't think he necessarily needs boxing, really. I think he just does it because I do think he generally loves it.
So we fast forward 12 months then, Sean. Is Netflix as big a player in boxing as Dazn, or is that a bit early?
No, I think it will be purely because the money they've got behind them and all the brains that they're trying to get involved in boxing. So I think even if they don't go with TKO and the Boxing League, I think even with Jake Paul or some other people, they can definitely be a big competitor for Dazn. That's without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, like, comment, subscribe, post your comments below whether you agree or disagree. This has been Last Bar Boxing, proudly sponsored by LW Liftings and SC Travel. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you.